welcome to another episode of Cancer Tamer. I'm your host, Dr. Charlie Ferrer.
And hi, I'm Deborah Santulli-Barone. I do the Did You Know section of the Cancer Tamer.
Yeah. So as we begin our new year, we wanted to also talk to you about the different topics that are available and as well some of the programs that Cancer Tamer has available for you. So Deborah, you want to tell them about one of them?
Okay, so we were, it's Charlie's great idea about doing here and now videos. So these are for people that want to leave a message to their family. It has nothing to do with, oh, gee, I'm dying, let me leave a message. No, it's just having something documented that you wanted to say to your family that's there for years. Whether it's like, oh, happy birthday, or today's my birthday, and this is how I feel today, and this is what I plan to do in the future. It could be very uplifting. It could be very loving of what you feel about your family, what you'd like them to do in the future. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel. What do you feel about it?
I love that because it's also about, you know, you can do it as something to give yourself courage, to give yourself some motivation. Mm-hmm. So if you know that you're going to be going through chemo or radiation and you want to leave a message for yourself, then here's a wonderful opportunity to do that, because who would you listen to more than anyone else in situations where you're starting to go crazy or where you're just not quite sure. So it's a wonderful piece to leave a message. Right. And it's like a time capsule. I look at it.
That's true.
So I've done a couple for myself.
Okay,
and just put them to the side and just little comments that I've wanted to talk to myself, encourage myself, you know, acknowledge things in my life. So, you know, we purposely called it the Here and Now video so that it's acknowledging and documenting here and now.
Right.
So it's totally free. We don't ask you for anything. We work with you on being there. You got to come to us. If we have to go to you, it's only on very certain circumstances where you are homebound or incapacitated.
That's true. That's true.
You know, this is all done by volunteers. And the Here and Now video is yours. We don't air it anywhere. We don't keep copies of it. It's for you to share with yourself, for you to share with your family. And it's videotaped by myself or Deborah or one of our interns who actually has experience with cancer.
Yes.
So we understand what's going on there.
And what's great, too, is that a year or two from now, you can actually look at it and go, wow, that's where I was and how I felt at that time. And look how much better I feel. And, you know, so it could be uplifting when you see the change in yourself. Or you see the fighter in you that says, okay, this is the video I'm doing today, and I'm going to make it. I'm going to do this, this, and that. And then a year down the road, you're like, wow, I accomplished that.
Exactly.
What a beautiful feeling.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, did that. You know, those time capsules that you had before.
And you never thought you had the strength. You know?
No. And I love the fact that if you're doing it as a goal, so, you know, another reason to do a Here and Now video is if you're doing it as a goal for yourself, then you can acknowledge the fact and keep yourself on track.
Right.
You know,
That's
so
true.
if I plan to, you know, do the cooking show that we're planning to do, well, have I done anything to get myself to that? Have I talked to cooks? Have I prepared it? Have I talked to Deborah about using her kitchen? You know,
anytime.
How have we, and what steps have we taken to make sure that we achieve that goal?
Yeah, because I think you have to look forward to something, because it's so easy to fall back into the, oh, what's there to do? What's there to think about?
Even worse than that, it's the fact that we are so unintuned with life.
Right.
Because what did you do yesterday? What did you eat yesterday? What did you what do you plan for tomorrow? What do you plan for the next day? What have you done in the last 10 days?
Right.
What have you done with yourself, with your life, with your goals? Have you done anything? And I love that new commercial with Mayhem. You know that I don't want to say the insurance. There's one insurance company that has the the character called Mayhem. And it's always funny, Mayhem is here and the tree on your car, and the tree goes flying, and now you're in an accident. So they're always talking about accidents. And they had this very cute commercial that it started out with, you're so used to him having trouble, and it shows how, all these things, your bicycle, you ran over the bicycle, you destroyed your car, and so it's mayhem. And so the first commercial of the year was him standing on top of the roof.
Oh, yes.
And, him standing on top of the roof, and the kid comes down and says, "What are you doing on our roof?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm a lightning rod. I'm making sure nothing happens to your house."
Right.
And the kid's like, "Will you throw my plane back down?" Because the little airplane went up there, and he goes, "No, I'm a lightning rod, and I'm keeping your house safe." And then the next one was him laying on the street as a road flare.
Oh, okay.
And he's laying on the street as a road flare, and he goes, "I'm a road flare. I'm mayhem. I'm a road flare. I'm making sure nobody hurts you," right? And he goes, "Wait a minute. You haven't kept your New Year's resolution? Well, I'm not either." And he gets up, and and now here's a crash.
Right.
And so the idea of
that was smart.
Yeah, it was a great commercial because it's like, well, what are you doing to prevent mayhem? What are you doing to to do your resolution? And
That's true.
and the part everybody talks about, oh, what's your New Year's resolution? What's your New Year's resolution? It's like, why have a resolution for New Year's? Why not just decide that these are the things that you want for today?
Yeah.
These are the things that you want for next week. These are the goals, because your resolution is a goal.
Right.
And so what are you going to do? And, we talked about how we keep these attitudes in ourselves. Well, I think that we've actually become a society of New Year resolution breakers.
Right.
Because people say, oh, well, you're only going to keep that resolution for a week, 2 weeks, a month. You buy a membership because you're planning to get in health, and so you buy a gym membership, and how often do you use that? And so you've agreed, whether consciously or unconsciously, to throw that money away.
Right, that's true. A lot of people do that. You're right.
Because you'll keep the membership, but you'll never go.
Yeah, and you keep paying it too.
And you keep paying it for a year. Oh,
true.
I'm going to cancel it.
Well,
they're not going to let me cancel it for so long. Oh, I'll go in next.
And then it costs you a fee to cancel it anyway.
Yeah. So, so the great part about the Here and Now video is that you can put that on every day and remind yourself, hey, I'm supposed to be doing this. You can have it playing in the background. You can have it giving you motivation. You can, and it's only 30 minutes max, or it can be as small as you want it to be, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever is right for you. And so having that as a motivation for yourself, putting it on a
you can put it in your car and listen to it.
You can put it on your car.
Yeah.
So I think, one of the wonderful things about the year is that you can do new goals. Right. I don't like resolutions because
goals are good.
But you can have a new goal. You can decide this is what I want for this year and start planning how it's going to happen.
Right. Like I don't always start mine January 1st. I always try to have a goal. Mainly it's the gym and exercise is always an important factor for me. So, but I usually chill out in January, eat whatever, and then come February.
Been a crazy December.
Yes. So, I usually start up February, but actually I did start the gym again last week. And that's a good thing. And I was in so much pain because I hadn't gone in a few weeks. The next day, I looked like I got off of a horse that I had been on for like 24 hours.
And you're walking funny.
Oh my God!
Yeah, but one of the women that I went to, Melissa Tier, who does a lot of NLP work in New York City. NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming and meditation and hypnosis and such. And she talked about the world is her gym. She doesn't go to a gym because the world is her gym. Okay. So you want to go to the Stairmaster? There's steps in your house. You want to go running? Well, there's a whole road in front of your house that you could just walk until you're able to run. Right. I remember after my surgery, it was people would make fun of me because I would walk down the street, and after you have breast surgery, your breasts really hurt.
Well, her breast surgery.
My breast surgery, my breasts really hurt because I had so many stitches and stuff. And so I'm walking down the street, and after about 1-2 blocks, I would just hold on to my breast.
Aww.
And I would walk, just holding on to my breast, and people would like drive by and look at me and think, you know, like they would just like keep staring, like, what is she doing?
Anyone beat the horn on you?
Well, one man just looked at me. He goes, "Really?" And I'm like, "Hey, men scratch all the time, so I'm just gonna like get my girls to feel better." But it you know, it is one little step at a time.
Right.
And so the world can be your gym. You know, you want to go lift weights. If you got kids, neighbors, kids, you know, just lift those puppies. You know, redo your house.
Right. Like I used to rip off wallpaper in my house because that helped me.
That's really strange.
Yeah, because like I'd be stressed out and I'd rip it and it feels so much better like that. But actually,
and that's another form of
that's a little different.
You know, working out.
But I challenged myself one day. I had gotten off the train in Manhattan going to doctors, and I got off at 59th Street. And to go from where you are down in the bowels of the city, of the tunnel there, to get up to the street level, there's an escalator, and then there's steps. And I said, I'm going to do the steps. So I'm walking up these stairs, and I'm not counting them or anything. At the end, when I got to the top, I was huffing and puffing. I'm thinking, oh, my God, there's something wrong with my heart. I don't believe it. What did I do, like 20, 30 steps? My God, I'm getting old, you know? So that really upset me. So next time when I got off the train, I said, I'm going to count this time. Do you know there were 80 steps? No wonder why I was huffing and puffing. Oh, my God. At least I know.
I know in my apartment it was 6 steps up, 6 steps down. And
I'm like, okay, I did the 80 steps, so I huffed and puffed a little bit, but it was okay, you know?
But it's a start.
Yeah, it is.
So if you're wanting to start a gym or you're wanting to
work out at home,
walk. That's the best exercise.
Yeah, I love walking.
And if you're just, you know, starting your treatment or having surgery and recovering after that, then walk.
Yeah.
I started with, you know, not even going outside because I was so afraid of, you know, not having the capacity to get back home.
Right.
But I would just walk the corridor. And I would just touch every door in the corridor, you know. And I thought it was so funny because at the end of the corridor, one of my neighbors had a dog.
Oh, geez.
And so he would bark at me, and I would just touch the door, and I'd come around. And by the third time that I did that, she's like, who the hell's at the door? And I'm like, I'm just doing my walking. She goes, oh, okay.
Whatever works.
Whatever works.
And we're there. And with the Here and Now videos, we have to give kudos to the 2 different people or doctors who have decided to help, you know, with that. Which is great.
One of our donors actually asked us not to mention his name, but they actually are providing us with some donations to be able to get our equipment, and so we're looking at trying to get more donations so that we can have more equipment to be able to do the Here and Now videos. So you know who you are. Thank you so very much for helping us get our camera equipment and to, you know, to be able to provide this service to other women who are out there.
Right, or men.
Or men.
Because it's not only about breast cancer. I mean, I have leukemia too, and any kind of cancer. It, you know, it doesn't matter.
Men and women.
Yeah.
Although we do focus more on women because we're coming from breast cancer, both of us. And so, but it is, you know, you're right. It is about someone with any kind of cancer that we do tailor to. We do know more about breast cancer than other kinds of cancers, which leads us into, which leads us into some of the workshops that we will be putting together for individuals and working with different organizations throughout the throughout New York City and anywhere else.
Jersey, anywhere you want us.
You want us, we'll
we're
go.
there. Tell me a little bit more about your idea with the workshops.
So part of the workshops is that one of the workshops that we're doing is called Navigating Breast Cancer. And it's actually, even though, again, we specialize in breast cancer, but it is appropriate for any type of cancer. And it is one of those parts of taking you through the steps that you need to know. Our workshops are not about treatment. They're not about what therapies are best for you and what treatments you should have. That is a discussion that you need to have with your physician and with your family. Our workshops are about how to live with cancer, how to overcome what's heading your way, how to prepare. The book that we have is Breast Cancer from Diagnosis to Surgery. You can get information about it on our website. It is all about ways to be able to deal with cancer, ways to prepare financially, emotionally, how to get your posse together. And everyone needs a posse. I will tell you, I went through this process alone my first year, and going through all my treatments and all the doctors and trying to recover on my own. That is a very hard way of dealing with this. So, I would recommend finding friends. Deborah, I found actually in a support group where we just became wonderful friends.
Yeah, we clicked. It was great.
And it was instantaneous, and she wanted to do things, I wanted to do things, and we realized that, hey, we want to do the same thing. So, here's this. So the workshops that we put together are about navigating breast cancer, about writing your story, writing to heal. One of the workshops that we have is Writing to Heal, where you can write about what you've been going through and realizing that at some point you need to stop repeating the same thing and start writing the story that you want to live. There's a wonderful show, and I can't remember, but it was with Brandon Fraser, I think it was his name. And he and his daughter would say something and it would come true. And it was a wonderful story about writing, and it has such a great metaphor because as he was writing the story was unfolding and becoming true.
I got to try that.
And realizing that we do that.
Yeah.
We are writing our own story.
Right.
The things that you say to yourself, write your story. The things that you repeat, the things that you interact, the way that, we talked on the last show about the bucket list adventures. What adventures do you want to do? I often, when I used to teach at Rutgers and at other universities and colleges throughout the country. And one of the exercises that I gave my students was write your obituary.
Oh,
and
interesting.
It was, it was one of those things where it's like, wait a minute, I have cancer. Why would I write my own obituary? Isn't that morbid? And the truth is, no, it's not morbid. It's actually a way of slapping you in the face, kicking you in the butt, and telling you, what are you going to do and what are you going to be remembered for?
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
So when you write your obituary, if you ever read somebody's obituary, it's like, so-and-so has been,
blah, blah.
Leaves behind this. So-and-so leaves behind these loving people. So-and-so did this for their neighbors. So-and-so did something. And people come up and they do your eulogy and they talk about all the things that you've done.
Right.
The whole purpose of writing your obituary, the way that I look at it, is that you can notice what you've accomplished, what you want to accomplish, what you regret not doing.
Right.
So if you regret not going to Disneyland or not jumping off a cliff and hang gliding, that's my adventure, and your things that you want to do and you want to accomplish in your life, why wait till the end?
Right.
Why not do it tomorrow? Schedule that jump off the cliff and go hang gliding for tomorrow. You want to go and do a safari. Why are you waiting until when?
The right moment or whatever.
The right moment. The right moment is now.
Right.
So if you want to go on a safari, then schedule your safari now.
Right.
Get your tickets now. Okay, so maybe you can't afford the ticket right now, but you can set it up. You can get all your connections done. You can get the book to do the
celebration
safari.
fund.
You can do your celebration fund. Exactly. We talked about the celebration fund, about saving that money on all the days that you feel good. Here's your celebration fund. Talk with your bank. Talk with BCB Bank here in Staten Island. Talk with whoever you need to talk to. Stick it in the bed. I've known people who stick the money underneath their mattress and keep it there.
Right.
But the whole point is that you're setting yourself up for life. You're setting yourself up for what you want to be remembered for. And if you're writing your obituary and you're noticing, well, I didn't do this and I didn't do that and I didn't do this, notice as well, what are your regrets?
Right, that's true.
You know, do
and
them
what can
now.
you still do?
Yeah, do them now. Sit down, and I tell people, sit down and write all the regrets that you have. I regret that I wasn't a great mother. I regret that I wasn't a great lover. I regret that I didn't jump off that. I'm going to keep saying jumping off that cliff.
I'm going to throw her off the cliff.
You're going to throw me off the cliff. Which I'll be screaming all the way like an eagle. Don't you hear them? Which actually, that's a really good point. Because you're flying like an eagle, and you always hear them go, arr, arr, you know, whatever. So, but it is the fact that as you're writing all these things that you may regret, the beauty of it is that you have time right now to be able to do them, to be able to enjoy them, to be able to set them up for yourself. So Deborah's having a little coughing fit, so she'll be right back. But it allows you to be able to now plan for them so that you don't have regrets in the future. And you know what? If you do have any regrets, it's okay. We all do. So what do you want to do from this moment forward to change that? From this moment forward to do something better for yourself? I mean, do you have regrets for yourself? We always think of regrets with other people, but what about yourself? Do you regret that you haven't treated yourself well? Do you regret that you haven't done the adventures that you want? Do you regret that you didn't have the education or the training? Well, what's stopping you now? And I remember one of the individuals that actually, you know, little angels come to you all around your life because it's somebody making a comment that actually moved you forward into the next. Because I remember somebody saying, well, you know, why do you regret not having the education? I said, oh, well, you know, I won't have the education. I won't have this. And he goes, well, you know, how long is it going to take? And I said, oh, well, I'll be really old. And he goes, well, aren't you going to be old no matter what? You know, I mean, if it's going to take you 2 years to do a program, you know, then isn't it going to be 2 years when you're done with the program, and isn't 2 years going to come no matter what?
Right, you have wasted 2 years.
You just wasted 2 years not wanting to do it because you think you're going to be too old. So my whole point is it doesn't matter how old you're going to be when it's done. And one of the most inspirational women, I don't know who she is, I just remember that when my son was 9 years old, he was in the Nutcracker. And he was so proud that he got to be in the Nutcracker, and all the girls were there, and everybody's doing this. And his whole thing was he was one of the little boys doing the dance of the Nutcracker, you know, the little boys dance.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there, and I'm watching all these people in rehearsal and the day of the show. And I noticed all the performance was done by young 12-year-old, 13-year-olds. All the little ballerinas were like no more than 14. And I looked and I saw one ballerina that stood out. And I'm looking at her and I'm going, holy crap, you're not 14, you know? And she was actually 55.
Really?
55 years old. And I'm talking to her.
That's great.
And I'm going, are you the instructor? She goes, no, I'm one of the ballerinas.
Oh.
And I'm going, oh, well, how long have you been dancing? She goes, I've only been dancing for a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I said. I was like, really?
Especially ballet.
Why are you doing ballet at 55? And she goes,
God
well,
bless her.
when am I going to do it if I don't do it now?
Yeah.
And she said all her life she wanted to be a ballerina. When she was a little girl, she wanted to be a ballerina, and they couldn't afford it. So now at 55, guess what she did?
That's really good.
She went and she became a little ballerina.
Aww.
And there she was on stage doing the Nutcracker.
That is
it was,
amazing.
you know, it was so amazing to see that.
Yeah.
So imagine one of her regrets would have been I died and I couldn't be a ballerina.
Right.
And she made it happen. So noticing when you write your obituary, what's it going to say about you? And if there's things that you want to do, then do them.
Right, that's
Do
true.
them now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait till next year.
Yeah.
Start doing them now. Just step forward.
Why not?
And do it.
Right.
Exactly. And if you can't do it by yourself, then find the people in your life that can help you do it.
Yeah, and everyone have fun doing it
Contact
together.
us.
That's
you
true.
know, maybe you want to be like Karen and go on the, on the racetrack or, take a trip, whatever. Our thing of the bucket list adventures is kind of along the lines of make your wish.
Right.
Like and we try to find funding for people so that we can, get you a free event or, go with
something you never wanted to do. You know? That's true.
Go with you and do it with you. If you don't have anybody to do it with you, we'll go with you.
She would definitely.
I would definitely
Especially jumping off the cliff.
I'm jumping off the cliff, or as Deborah says, being pushed off, because I figure I'll scream all the way down.
Yeah, that should be fun.
But I really believe one of the things, it's never too late to start something new.
Right.
And I do believe, in my family, when I was raising my son, every 3 months we had to learn something new. Mm-hmm. Didn't mean we had to continue it. We just had to learn something new.
Right, to try something new, yeah.
Because it was, how do you know you don't like it?
Right, that makes sense.
How do you know you won't like it? How do you know what to do?
That's
so, challenge yourself this year to explore, to be a little bit more adventurous, even if adventurous to you means cooking something different.
Right.
Even if adventurous to you is saying, hey, how are you, to that gorgeous guy or girl. Even if adventurous to you is, even if adventurous to you is, reading a new book or, planning a trip.
Or playing a new instrument. That's something I'd like to do. I have a piano that I played when I was younger. So I'd like to either get back into that or do something new with a different instrument. But we'll see. But another workshop we were talking about was reaching out to young women. We're talking like high school. Because prevention is more important than getting to this point where we have to talk about what we have. And really, I was clueless, and everyone's really clueless because if you don't have the disease, you don't think about it. So why not do some things and precautionary things that you can do so that maybe you don't get to this point? And you'll be ahead of the game.
And things so simple as, part of the reducing your risk is something as simple as eating healthier, as exercising, as
even if you
motivation.
Just take two things, watch what you eat and your exercise. That's
and you're
that's half of it already.
How do you think?
Yeah.
How do you bring joy into your life?
Right.
Because part of it, I think, is if you're carrying around so much anger and hate and animosity. Mm-hmm. That's eating away at your heart.
Right.
That's eating away at yourself.
That's
so
true.
Notice what you're thinking, which is so important. And, we have so many workshops coming to you and working with other organizations and also other organizations that are out there. Check for organizations that are out there like Cancer and Careers or TEAL, Tell Every Amazing Lady, Young Survivors Coalition.
Right. Diva for a Day.
Diva for a Day.
Yeah.
They don't have workshops, but they do have a fun Diva Day.
Yes.
Look at different things that you can do to make your life better and connect with other organizations out there that can make your life better. So what we want to leave you with is, what are you going to do in the next 30 days to make your life better? How are you going to love yourself, love the people in your life, or bring people that you love into your life? So thank you for watching. If you have questions, comments, or want to give us some ideas or be on the show, please contact us at info@cancertamer.org. I'm Dr. Charlie Ferrer.
Thank you. I'm Deborah Santulli-Barone.